Hello, strangers. Hope you're doing well. For me, things are a bit mental at the moment, so I want to talk you through what's happening in my life, respond to Marilyn's video 2 Mondays ago about dream jobs, and talk about memories. So, if you've been following me in the group chat on social media, you know that last week my job came to an unexpected and sudden end. It's a really messy situation. So on Monday 23rd, I returned from a wonderful holiday, discovered that instead of having 2 or 3 months left of my contract, I had 1 week. The bosses above my bosses had decided it's more economical to let me go. I was told this the week I returned, so I was not a happy bunny. On top of that, I had to train up a different temp to cover my other colleague. Why I couldn't do it, I don't know, and I had to help her set up her computer account, emails, phone account, blah blah blah. I was also juggling details with my fantastic editor and my brilliant illustrator for my novel Empty Nights, and I wanted to stick my head out of a window and just scream, I don't know what I'm doing! On top of that, my cold was returning. I found it really difficult to breathe and really difficult to concentrate for long periods of time. End of that week, the temp had to leave suddenly, which meant all the time and effort I spent training her up had been a complete waste of time. I was told that the departmental manager who had ended my contract above me was also leaving due to stress, which is what my old boss had left of, and she'd been working there 23 years, my old boss. Meaning my new boss only has 4 weeks in the role and is now in charge of everything, and she's completely overwhelmed. At that point, I was so stressed, I went down to the Wetherspoons pub and started drinking alcohol in the middle of the day just to calm my anxiety. I've never done that before. I don't want to do it again. So I managed to get an extra week, which started Monday 30th. Boss calls me into her office, explains that I need to train up another temp to cover my colleague. Really? Now, I've had lots of jobs since I left university, and most of those jobs are working in different universities around London. And I've enjoyed most of those placements, but I've got to say, I think this has been the messiest breakup. Thankfully, this isn't my dream job. I don't want to be an office drone for the rest of my life. Yes, I do have a dream. I want to be a full-time writer. Now, I understand it is a very far-fetched dream, but I am taking steps to get towards that goal. I'm not just sitting in an armchair dreaming about it. I've got my website, which is on your screen now, which I've been running for 2.5 years, updating it every week or every other week. I've got my business cards, which I need to order some more because I'm running out. I'm on 2 vlogging channels, obviously this one, and another one called Right Up Our Alley, which is writing orientated. Link for that will be in the doobly-doo below. And if you go on my website, you see a little portfolio of all the work I've had published. Essentially, my first novel, Empty Nights, is a test run for the publishing industry, and hopefully it will be the first novel of many. So that's my dream, but I've had lots of temp jobs along the way, just as stepping stones. Although I do want to pursue these stepping stones as long-term goals, they did give me lots of memories. So today I'm going to give you 2 memories, one bad and one hilarious, in hindsight. Memory number 1. So the worst moment of my temping journey was definitely when I was stranded in the middle of the English countryside in December on my birthday with my boss, waiting to get a train back to London that had been delayed for 3 hours. For context, my boss was a deaf professor. I was his hearing assistant or a translator. He would speak to someone, they would answer him, he would look at me and I would repeat what they said like a parrot. You see, he could lip read, but he couldn't understand really thick accents or people who spoke too fast, and he thought my speaking speed, my accent, was perfect. So we went to a conference in the countryside, and the venue was very interesting actually. I remember they had a laser in the middle of the compound that was shooting a red beam of light into the heavens. How cool is that? But the conference itself, back on topic, was very frustrating for both of us. He couldn't understand what was being said because of the background noise. I couldn't type quick enough to gather everything, and I didn't know all the scientific jargon. Anyway, we left. We caught a delayed bus back to a train station to find our trains were delayed. We're frozen to the bone at the station cafe to buy a Cornish pasty. Now, a Cornish pasty, in case you don't know, is like a pie. Instead of being upright like this, it's on its side like this. So there I am on the frozen platform, tucking into a Cornish pasty. The professor comes up to me, looks at me, and bellows, "Why are you eating that? Don't you know about calories, for God's sake?" I'm just like, "Please, it's a pasty, dude. Chill." Now, he was shouting because he couldn't hear properly. He was shouting out his normal talking volume. And it was very intimidating. He was a very intimidating man to work with. Let's end this video on a positive note. Here's a more humorous story. At one point last year, I worked in an amazing office, and one of my tasks was to go around and collect these fire health and safety certificates. Now, the fire and safety course was the most boring thing on earth, but it was essential. It had to be done for health and safety reasons. I was going around collecting all the certificates, and I started speaking to a girl that I had a teeny tiny, just a tiny bit of a crush on. And she had a certificate. I took it off her. We spoke at the course, and it was a boring conversation. And I thought, okay, Jack, time to leave, or you embarrass yourself even more. My lips went to say, "I'll catch up with you later," but my mind went to say, "I'll chat to you later." The result was me saying, yeah, don't worry. Thank you for your certificate, by the way. I'll chat you up later." Her eyes widened in horror and shock and possibly disgust. I realised what I'd said, the full implications, mind going into meltdown, and I cringed. And as I cringed, I looked like a big, fat, cheesy wink. Yeah, no worries. Thank you for your certificate. I'll chat you up later. On that lovely note, I'm sure my week will improve next week, or this week as I'm recording it, and I will see you strangers next time.